Hello, Emily. Thank you for
Hello.
being here with us in Aceia conference. We want to talk with you about your workshop. The topic of your workshop. What do you change this topic?
Why did I choose this topic?
Choose, yes.
I choose this topic because I think reading is a skill that a lot of teachers aren't really sure how to make fun in the classroom. Students can find it boring when you try to do a reading task, and a lot of times teachers just end up assigning reading for homework instead of practicing reading in the class, when students actually need to be taught how to read.
What is difficult about teaching reading?
As I said, students sometimes find it boring, and teachers need to find topics that students are interested in. They need to find texts from real life, things that they would normally read in their native language. They can use those same types of texts in English. Students are more interested in reading WhatsApp messages than they are in reading books. Books aren't really cool for young people right now. So I think that's something teachers can try to do, is try to make reading cool and try to show them that they like reading and model and promote reading in the classroom.
What skill do teachers need to work out with a student to prepare them for B1 reading tasks?
So to be successful in the B1 exam, students need lots and lots of vocabulary, and they also need to learn to read quickly. Sometimes students try to read slowly and carefully and understand every single word, and that's a big mistake. They need to read quickly and then just find the information that's necessary to complete the task.
Do you think that the social media, they are a good idea to improve the reading or not?
Social media, yes, although I'm not sure you'll frequently find long text on social media. It would be more for practicing short texts. But yeah, you can certainly use social media to pique student interest in reading.
Yes, but sometimes the young people use the mobile phone or another to write, and here in Spain there are a lot of problems to the teacher because the student don't know to write good the word.
Yeah,
And after in the exam, for example, they write like in the mobile phone with incomplete words not complete or another. This is a problem for.
Right. I think to use social media, I would be more likely to give them a text in class to read and then ask them to use social media to respond to that text, to write their opinion about what they read and have their classmates comment.
How can teacher motivate a student who don't like to read, for example?
Okay. I think they should use graded readers in class or class readers. Fiction, start with fiction. And start with texts that are at a comfortable level for the students that aren't too difficult, because if you give them something that's too difficult, they will immediately get demotivated and they won't read it. So you have to find something that they're interested in, something that they're able to understand about 90% of the vocabulary, so that they can actually finish a book and feel like they've accomplished something and feel confident.
What had been the answer of the people who had been in your workshop?
What questions did they ask?
Yes, and the reaction, yes.
I think most of them could empathize when I showed them a picture of a student who was very bored and who was sighing, and most of them felt like that is the reaction they normally get from their students when they say they're going to practice reading that day. So I think if you can add an element of competition to reading activities, that makes more students more interested and they feel like reading is fun, and practicing reading in class is fun.
Yes, it's a problem because sometimes the reading for the children, for example, they are conceived like an obligation and not like something to have pleasure, open their mind, have more creative. And another, this is a handicap today for parents and for teachers.
Right. because if they're going to be successful academically, they must have good reading skills. So I think, for example, you can create a class competition, a race to finish a text or to find the answers in a text in teams or in pairs, and suddenly those same students that were looking at you with a blank face and completely uninterested are suddenly very excited about the task that you're doing.
Okay. How you tell us another thing or another more question that you like?
I think just coming back to the theme of teachers sometimes just assign reading for homework, I think it is important to practice reading in class, but you need to practice things that students couldn't just do on their own at home. So you need to find a balance between assigning some reading at home and working on those skills and strategies in class. Because the idea is that we train them in the skills and strategies they need, and then when we're not there and they need to do those tasks independently, when they go on to study in university, for example, or in the exam setting, we want them to be able to use those strategies independently.
Yes, this is a problem because sometimes the children had always the parent together, close there, doing the homework, and after, when they grow up, had a teenager and go to the university, they don't know how to study or do another different kind of activities. They are like orphans.
Orphans, yeah.
Yes, it's a problem because they need some practice, independence in this case.
So I think teachers can model those strategies and get them to talk about the strategies they're using, how those are working, whether they're helping them or not, and then ask them to do them independently, and then after they've used them, ask them again which strategies they used and how these strategies help them. Because that's the whole goal, is to create independent readers who have flexible reading skills that they can apply in different situations. Because one reading strategy might be useful in one situation but not in another, so they need to be able to decide which strategy will be helpful.
Okay.
Okay.
Anything else? Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.